Okay, documentary reaction. Uh, you guys might have noticed I haven't really ever given a chill response, we'll say. Uh, and there's a number of reasons for that. One, when you think something is the biggest joke ever, like when you see something like using your comedy videos as if they're real, like you have trouble taking it seriously. Um, like for example, they use clips from videos of mine to establish that there was aggressive acts towards people I used to date, um, while omitting all the aggressive acts from the other parties. And when I say aggressive acts, I'm talking about comedy sketches. Like I was dressed as the Joker and she was dressed as Harley Quinn, and I threw candy corn at Harley Quinn dressed as the Joker. And I made a comment as the Joker to Harley Quinn. And I don't know if the documentary used this. It's been too long since I saw like 2.5 episodes. I don't know exactly how many. But I haven't seen it all. Even to this day, I haven't seen it all. But people take things so out of context that it's like crazy. It's like if you took like a Jim Carrey movie and you said, this is him. Like he is Man on the Moon. Okay. He is literally the mask. You see this part where Jim Carrey pulls out the Uzis and he has his face stretch out down to his feet? That's all real. Like it's kind of like that. So I was dating someone, we'll call her SH. And people, they say like, oh, poor her. Completely omitting who she is. Completely. And the entire history. Like one time, I turned my camera on her because she said that she was going to unalive herself and make it look like I did it. So that's why the camera was on her, because she was saying that she was going to make it look like I had done something I hadn't done. And then she was like, she said in the video, and this is all stuff you can look up if it's still in the full context, which it probably isn't. But she said that because I had just broken up with her, that her life was ruined and that she was going to ruin mine as a result. Can you imagine dating someone and they're like, oh, because you broke up with me, I'm now going to make your life horrific? That just makes people feel valid, right? Anyway, so I called the police on her. And the police showed up and she confessed that she did, in fact, say that she was going to unalive herself. So they took her and she was on a 24-hour hold. But before the police left, they told me, I can't evict her because of the laws in the state or the country or whatever. Basically, if somebody lives in your house, you have to go through a legal process to evict them. You can't just kick them out, right? So they said basically the only way I could be, and she had a knife, like a large kitchen knife when she was saying that about herself. So I said, how do I get out of the situation to the police? And they said, you gotta basically leave your own house if you want to be away from her because she legally can come back. So I left. And then she said that the HELLS angels were after me. She said that they were chasing me from Canada. And I know what you're probably thinking. This is ridiculous. Who would believe that they were doing that? Like that was actually happening. I don't think you guys understand how stupid I was for that person. Like I would just believe, and you've probably been through this yourself. If you've ever been with someone who you cared about a lot and you believed wasn't crazy, and you believed at least most of the time told you the truth. Like, I don't know if you guys know what it's like to be with a pathological liar, but they lie about small things. They lie about big things. They lie about all kinds of things. So when they're telling you that the HELLS angels are after you and that their dad or grandpa or something is associated with them and that's why it's happening. I mean, I made videos where I was like on my way to LA and I was like, she says that they're after me and that she doesn't want this to happen, but it's happening. And there was also the whole fake pregnancy. You guys remember Rogue? Like, she was saying it was mine, you know. It was weird timing. Like, I could go on. There should be a documentary about my whole side because mine is so much more interesting than theirs. So much more interesting. But I'll just wrap. Like, this is like a 20-part series. But as some of you know, and some of the commenters might say, "Oh yeah, I actually remember that. Onichan's totally right." But she said something like on Facebook. She said something like, "R.I.P. Rogue, gonna miss you, little guy," or something like that. And I know this is really difficult to comprehend because it's so weird. But she said, "R.I.P. little man," to this person she named Rogue, who was supposedly my unborn. They were 6 weeks old, allegedly. I went to the doula with her, and I held her as she cried when the doula told her this was not a pregnancy that was going through. Okay, I remember that. That was very unpleasant, and I was there for her. But we didn't have health insurance for her. So she, at least I didn't think we did. I don't know. She went back to Canada because she was Canadian. So she went back there to survive what was left of it. And we made a video where she was on my lap because she had told me she was septic. So that was part of the reason going back. But then the commenters, and all their knowledge, they said if she was septic, she wouldn't be existing. She would be toast. And I didn't know that. I was just going with what she said. And again, to the people watching this who actually know the lore and the history, you know what I'm saying is dead on, which should be disturbing to you because you've probably been brainwashed by the anti-me's of completely different things, right? But if I'm going off memory and I'm saying everything as it was, as you remember it happening, and I claim to be one of the most honest, influencers or whatever, and it's lining up with what you remember, are you getting the creeps right now? Are you getting creeped out? Like, oh my God, this guy might have actually been telling the truth the whole time? And if I was in fact telling the truth the whole time, think about how a multi-billion-dollar corporation spent I don't know how much money trying to defame me using these people. To give you the full remaining of just this part, this SH chick, she used the photo of someone else's offspring that did not survive, to claiming on Facebook that it was her own, allegedly. Can you imagine how scary of a person you have to be to take the photo of someone else's non-surviving offspring, call it your own, post it to Facebook as your own, saying RIP Rogue, little man, something. I don't know. You can look up the screenshots. That was when I was with the doula, it was, and I say it because, I mean, we can't, if aborti, etc., is a full, if it's a human being, then that's a major issue. So you say it if it's at 6 weeks, right? Otherwise, we have a real issue with MURDER. So I say it. Anyway, the point is, and when I say we, I mean Democrats, right? They lose the Republican argument if that's not in it. So we'll say it. But we lost that. I say we loosely because she was 6 weeks pregnant at 5 or 6 weeks into being around me. Like, I don't know what happened there, but she cheated on me after she went back to Canada. I was sending her money for rent, and she said she lost her passport. And so when I was wiring her money, and I have the email trail of this, by the way, when I was sending her money, she was picking it up with her boyfriend, acting like she and I were a thing. Imagine the heartbreak there. And she was engaged to me, by the way. I spent like $3,000 on an engagement ring, which she refused to return after I found out she was pregnant again with another man's baby. Like, you guys, the documentary is so evil. And you have no idea because you guys just would not listen to me. And quite frankly, like, if Netflix or someone wants to do a documentary and have actual evidence, I can donate all the money to some really good charity. Maybe like Men Have Humanity org. Like men are people too. Org or something. I said I can, not I will. I think I deserve $500 trillion after what I went through, but anyway. So all I'm saying is it's so bad how criminal this documentary is, and in the exact opposite direction it's behaving as. They show you clips of me in comedy sketches being hostile towards the people I'm acting with. And then they show you, I think, 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever clips of those people being hostile towards me. But they quite literally suggest that hostility towards them is because of some reason that's internal and very Dexter-ish of me. But then they just casually show me being run through with a head missinged with a katana by said opponent, and they just act like that's just nothing. So if I'm showing hostilities in a video that's a comedy sketch towards people, and you say that's indicative of something, but when we got engaged, for example, and she comes back and she simulates pulling the trigger on both me and my roommate, and there's BLOOD everywhere, and then she holds up the wedding ring and says, "Oh yeah, it's like that." And this is after, because I'm so stupid, this is after she said she would unalive herself and make it look like I did it, and then the cops took her away. This is after that because I took her back. And that was after she, in Canada, said that she was pregnant with my baby. And she showed me a fake doctor's note to establish that she was. And she pushed out her gut to simulate actual like pregnancy. And I had someone named Cat Sketch who used to work with Shane Dawson. I had someone named Cat Sketch, and she claimed that she used to be working at like a birthing center or something like that, that she had some kind of expertise in it. I was with Cyr, CYR. And we both looked at the photos, and she said, "Oh no, she's pushing out her gut." She said specifically that if she actually was pregnant, it would be lower because that's where her uterus is. And she was just pushing out her gut. And this is how stupid I am, right? I find this out. I celebrate. I'm like, yeah, she's faking it. And then I'm like, okay, you can fly back. And I'm like engaged with her. After everything she put me through, I get engaged to her. How dumb am I? Truly. But no, like cheating on me and getting pregnant with another guy's baby, that came later. And unfortunately, that baby didn't survive her either, which is truly sad. Truly sad. So, like I said, there's my input and what I lived through is infinitely more interesting and infinitely more true than their clown show, which is the documentary. A multi-billion-dollar corporation they threw everything they could at me. It's not them. It's a multi-billion-dollar corporation who viewed me as something profitable. And you guys ate it up. The amount of times their story changed and the amount of times you ignored that fact. Don't continue to be in on it. That's all I'm asking.